Imagine a world where our lakes, reservoirs, and even oceans become renewable energy hubs. Sounds futuristic, right? But it's happening right now. Floating solar farms, sprawling arrays of panels atop water bodies could redefine how we produce energy. As climate change accelerates and global energy demands surge, these floating marvels could be our best shot at a sustainable future. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the clock is ticking. So, how does this innovation work? And could it be the key to a cleaner planet? Let's dive in. And hey, before we get started, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth content on game-changing innovations shaping our world. To understand why this matters so much, we need to confront the hard truth. Our global energy crisis is real, and it's only getting worse. Fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas have powered the modern world, but their environmental cost is staggering. From rising greenhouse gas emissions that trap heat in our atmosphere to air pollution choking cities and towns, our reliance on non-renewable energy is coming back to bite us. Experts warn that we have only a few decades to drastically cut emissions or face catastrophic climate change effects. So, where does renewable energy fit into this picture? Renewables like wind and solar hold the promise of a greener future, but there's a catchland. Large-scale solar farms require vast tracts of land, often leading to land-use conflicts, deforestation, and resistance from local communities. In densely populated areas, finding enough space to install traditional solar farms can be a logistical nightmare. This is where floating solar farms come in, and they offer a radical rethinking of energy production. Instead of using valuable land, floating solar panels are placed on water bodies from lakes and reservoirs to wastewater treatment plants and even calm parts of the ocean. The panels are mounted on buoyant platforms that stay afloat while being anchored to the bottom. This setup isn't just about saving space. It's about unlocking the potential of underutilized surfaces. But you might be wondering, is it really that simple to place solar panels on water? The answer is yes and no. Floating solar farms have unique advantages. For one, water acts as a natural cooling system, reducing the temperature of the panels. Solar panels, like all electronics, become less efficient as they overheat. By operating on water, they can achieve up to 15% more efficiency compared to their land-based counterparts. This boost in efficiency means more energy is produced with the same amount of sunlight, a crucial advantage as we race to cut carbon emissions. One of the most notable projects is the floating solar farm on the reservoir of the Hapcheon Dam in South Korea. This project generates 41 megawatts of electricity, enough to power tens of thousands of homes. The panels themselves are shaped like plum blossoms, symbolizing Korea's national flower, and the farm helps stabilize water temperature and reduce evaporation. Another example is China's Huanan Solar Farm, built over a flooded coal mine. With a capacity of 40 megawatts, it transforms an area once associated with fossil fuels into a symbol of clean energy progress. But that's just the start. Floating solar farms also help reduce water evaporation. In drought-prone regions, this can save millions of gallons of water every year. Imagine the impact in places like California. By shading reservoirs, these panels slow down water loss while generating energy. It's a win-win for energy and water conservation. Now, before we start dreaming of a world covered in floating solar panels, it's worth considering the challenges. Building and maintaining floating solar farms isn't cheap. The platforms must be engineered to withstand varying weather conditions, from strong winds to heavy rain. Saltwater environments like oceans pose an even bigger challenge due to corrosion. Maintenance and durability are significant concerns, especially when compared to traditional solar farms on land. Then there's the environmental impact. Covering large sections of water with solar panels raises questions about how it affects aquatic ecosystems. The shade created by panels can disrupt underwater plants and potentially impact fish and other wildlife. Scientists are still studying these effects, but early research suggests that, with careful planning and design, the environmental benefits of floating solar farms can outweigh the drawbacks. The global momentum for floating solar is already building. In China, massive floating solar farms now span former coal mines, turning abandoned land into sources of clean energy. Japan, facing limited land availability, has transformed reservoirs into floating power plants. Europe, Southeast Asia, and even parts of the United States are starting to embrace this technology. In California and Florida, projects have been launched to tap into the power of floating solar, and early results are promising. One promising frontier for floating solar farms lies in their integration with energy storage solutions. Solar energy, whether on land or water, faces a key challenge: intermittency. The sun doesn't always shine, and energy production can fluctuate. By pairing floating solar farms with advanced energy storage technologies, such as lithium-ion or emerging solid-state batteries, we can ensure a steady supply of electricity even during cloudy days or nighttime. Countries like China and Germany are already experimenting with combining these systems to create more resilient, reliable energy grids. This approach doesn't just improve efficiency, it transforms solar power from a variable source to a consistent one that communities can depend on. Furthermore, floating solar farms can play a vital role in urban sustainability initiatives. Imagine city parks with integrated floating solar installations on lakes or water retention basins that supply power to nearby neighborhoods. In Singapore, for instance, projects are underway to blend floating solar with urban green spaces, creating eco-friendly zones that provide both energy and community benefit. These innovative ideas showcase how floating solar is more than a technology. It's a catalyst for rethinking urban infrastructure and making sustainability an integral part of daily life. So, why all the excitement? Floating solar farms aren't just about producing clean energy, they're about adaptability and maximizing resources. By using water bodies, we can create energy without competing for land, reduce water loss, and boost energy output. It's a smart, flexible approach to a complex problem. But scaling this technology remains a challenge. Large-scale deployment requires significant investment, public support, and a commitment to innovation. But here's a crucial question: can floating solar make a real dent in our energy needs? Experts believe that if we cover just a fraction of the world's available water surfaces with solar panels, we could generate hundreds of gigawatts of power, enough to supply energy to millions of homes. The potential is immense, but it's only achievable if governments, companies, and communities work together to make it a reality. Public perception also plays a major role. The idea of floating solar panels may sound futuristic to some and unrealistic to others. It raises questions. What happens when storms hit? Will maintenance be a nightmare? How cost-effective is it in the long run? Engineers are tackling these challenges head-on, developing resilient designs that can handle harsh weather, reduce costs over time, and streamline maintenance. It's a work in progress, but the signs are promising. Beyond the technical aspects, there's a human story here, a story of resilience and adaptability in the face of a global crisis. Floating solar farms represent our willingness to think creatively and push the boundaries of what's possible. In a world where resources are limited and time is running out, innovations like this give hope. They show that we can rise to the challenge if we dare to think differently. Imagine a future where floating solar farms aren't just limited to large reservoirs, but also appear in community lakes, urban reservoirs, or even as part of eco-friendly city infrastructure. It might sound like a sci-fi dream, but the seeds of that future are already being planted today. As technology advances, we may see even more creative solutions for integrating floating solar into our daily lives. At the end of the day, the message is clear. The climate crisis demands bold action, and floating solar is a powerful step in the right direction. But it's just one piece of the puzzle. We need to combine it with other renewable solutions, energy storage innovations, and a shift in how we think about sustainability. Every drop of effort counts because the stakes couldn't be higher. If you found this exploration of floating solar insightful, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for more content on transformative energy solutions. Curious about other groundbreaking energy innovations? Click the end screen to discover how biofuels and algae could reshape our energy future.